Good afternoon, teacher and friends. We are Group 8, and today we are going to describe about PDCA, which means Plan, Do, Check, and Act Circle. There are five main parts, which is first is introduction, second is operational principles, third is illustrative example, and the fourth is business application, and the last one is recommendation and conclusions. Now let's move on to the definition. The PDCA circle is a proven method for businesses to improve processes by following the four steps of plan, do, check, act. Organizations can identify problems, implement solutions, measure results, and make adjustments. Through repeat circles, businesses can continuously refine their operations and achieve excellence. The PDCA circle could be a precise handle administration device utilized for persistent enhancement. It concludes four key steps: arrange, do, check, and act. First is arrange. It means recognize an issues or opportunities for change, create a arrange to address it, and set targets. Second is do. Execute the arrange on a little scale or pilot premise to test its adequacy. The third is check. Assess the comes about the usage against the goals. This includes measuring and analyzing the information to evaluate whether the changes driven to change. Last one is act. Based on the assessment, take activity to standardize effective changes or change the arrange in case essential. This step leads to the another circle of the circle. Now let's talk about roots and history. First is beginnings. The PDCA circle was developed by Walter Selhart and W. Edward Deming. Selhart created the original concept in the 1930th century, while Deming popularized it in the 1950th century and emphasized its importance for continuous improvement and quality management. The second is improvement. Selhard developed the PDCA circle, which Deming later modified into PDCA circle. Deming's work in Japan helped es- establish the PDCA circle as a fundamental tool in quality management. Now is about the reason. We have nine main reasons. First is non-stop enhancement. The second is data-driven choice making. Third is primary applications. Fourth is healthcare. Fifth is project management. Next is issue farming. The seventh is standardization. The eighth is fabricating. And the last one is education.
Next, we're going to talk about operational principle in PDCA. Imagine in a world where processes are continuously improving, problems are solved, efficiency and decisions are driven by data. This is the vision that the PDA cycle brings to life. The PDCA cycle foundational model for continuous improvement and problem solving provide a structured approach to driving operational excellence. So what is PDCA? PDCA cycle is a structured method developed for continuous improvement in business, process, product, and service. Is famously attributed to Dr. Edward Deming, who emphasized the importance of data-driven decision-making and problem-solving. The cycle consists of four stages: plan, do, check, and act. So how does it work? First, we have the plan stage. Here, we identify a specific issues or opportunities for improvement. Next is use tools like root cause analysis set clear, measurable objectives, and develop a detailed action plan. On the do stage, we implement this plan on a small scale, collect qualitative and quantitative data, and ensure communicate with stakeholders. In the check state, we analyze results using data analysis tools, identify variance, evaluate effectiveness, and finally is make necessary adjustment. Finally, in the act stage, we centralize successful change, communicate, fighting with stakeholders, plan for future change by identifying new improvement areas, and finally is monitor continuously to ensure ongoing effectiveness. So let's look at the practical example of how Intel utilized PDCA cycle to drive innovation and improve product quality. The problem is Intel noticed a decline in the quality of their chips. So the plan is they decide to try a new manufacturing process. The do stage they implemented the new process in a small part in their factory. The check state they measure the quality of chips products using the new process. And finally, in the act state, based on the result, they decide to implement the process across all their factories. So, by systematically applying the PDCA cycle, Intel successfully refined its manufacturing process, achieving higher performance and reduced costs. So let's move on to the benefits of PDCA cycle. The first benefit is increase efficiencies and reduce waste. Second is improve product quality and customer satisfaction. Third is lower operating costs. Finally is enhance employee morale. As you can see, PDCA cycles is valuable tools for organizational aiming sustainable growth, but it also does have some limitation. Firstly, is it can be time consuming. Second is potential resistant to change. And the third is require accurate and reliable data. And finally is rich of short-term focus. So we're going to compare PDCA cycle with other quality management methodologies such as Six Sigma and Lean manufacturing. Let's explore the key difference and similarities. First, look at the key difference between PDCAs and other methodologies. Focus on continuous improvement. PDCA emphasizes more incremental change, while Six Sigma often center on large-scale projects-based improvement. Employees improvement. PDCAs advocated for strong employee improvement, fostering a culture of ownership initiative. Despite their difference, PDCA, Sigma, and Lean share several similarities. First is all three methodologies shares a commitment to continual improvement. Second is they all rely on data to inform decision making. Finally, emphasis is placed on enhancing process across the board. So, based on the pros and cons of PDCA, we have an overall analysis that PDCA is a user-friendly, versatile methodology idea for promoting continuous improvement. However, it may benefit for more structure in complex projects. On the other hand, Six Sigma is robust and statistically rigorous, but can be complex and expensive. Lean manufacturing excels at waste elimination but require considerable cultural shift for implementation.
So to provide you guys a better insight into how companies use the PDCAs in their operation, our team has chosen Toyota as our illustrated example. As you guys know, Toyota is widely known for pioneering lean manufacturing, where the PDCA cycle is an important part of their continuous improvement processes. And here is the overview how Toyota used the PDCA. It went like this. First, when Toyota faced issue with some flaw parts in one of their assembly lines, they implement the PDCA cycle to solve the problem. First, for the plant phase, Toyota teams identify the problem, which are defective parts, and hypothesize that faulty machinery and inconsistent supplier quality were the contributing factor. And next to the do phase, they test the change by adjusting machine calibration and conducting a trial run with improved supplier materials. And after a trial run was conducted, they moved to the check phase, and the data from the trial showed a significant reduction in floor parts. And finally, to the X phase, Toyota standardized the new machine setting and implemented stricter quality control for its suppliers, and then the cycle continued. So what did Toyota achieve after they used the PDCA? One of their first achievements is the reduction in defective parts. As you can see, before the PDCA, Toyota was experiencing a high number of defective parts on one of its assembly line, which lead to increased costs due to repair waste and production delays. But after they used the PDCA, Toyota was identify the root cause, which are faulty machinery calibration and supplier quality issues, and improvement targeted interventions. To prove this, the defective parts were reduced by 30% of the test run in the test run and ultimately lower across all assembly lines once the change was standardized. The next achievement is the cost savings. Before the PDCA was used, the defective parts increased costs due to rework waste material and idle time in the production life. But after the PDCA, the reduction in the defect resulted in a lower repair and rework cost, reduced the waste of raw material, and smoother production flow. To prove this, Toyota reported a 15% reduction in overall production cost in effective assembly line after implementing the change identified in the PDCA cycle. Next is efficiency gains. Well, before the PDCA was used, there were inconsistent machine calibration testing, and besides that, there was production delays due to inconsistent material from the supplier led to downtime. And after PDCA was used, they optimized the machine setting, which reduced the interruptions. Besides that, they also improved supplier quality control, which minimized the downtime. And as the evidence, the cycle time was per product decreased by 10% and speed up the production. Besides that, Toyota also achieved the standardization of the best practice. Before the PDCA, there was inconsistent practices. Different assembly lines operated with varying methods, leading to inefficiencies. Besides that, there also limited scalability. Best practices were not consistently shared across the plants. But after they used the PDCA, after confirming the success of the pilot through the check phase, Toyota used the app phase to standardize new machine calibration and stricter supply control across all production flexibility. This standardization not only improved the quality across the board but also set a benchmark for the future PDCA cycles, which foster a culture of continuous improvement. The success of Toyota in using the PDCA as a part of their operation have given some of the most valuable lessons. First, It highlights the importance of incremental changes. Toyota's success with PDCA underscored the value of making small but controlled changes before rolling them out company-wide. This minimized the risk of making incorrect change that could affect the entire production process. Besides that, it also highlighted the importance of data-driven decision-making. Because Toyota relied heavily on the data from trial runs to assess the impact of their intervention, making the objective decision based on measurable outcomes. And besides that, companies also should focus on supplier collaboration and quality control. And lastly, the firm should also focus on long-term continuous improvement. Toyota didn't use the PDCA for one time, but but they continued to apply the cycle regularly, using it as a framework for ongoing problem solving and optimization.
So moving to the part 4, which about application is business. The first part we learn is applicable industry. We include 8 elements. The first one is manufacturing. We enhance the process, reduce waste, ensure quality. Next is healthcare, which optimize the workflows and patient care. Service, which improve the customer service and operational efficiency. Next is the education, which enhance the teaching, application, and student outcome. Number 5 is about the retail, improve inventory and customer experience. IT and software, which define the development, support, and service delivery. Next is the construction, which improve the project management and quality compliance. The final one is your logistics, which optimize the routes, asset management, and supply chain efficiency. Moving to part 2 of this part 4, we have the condition for application. So as you can see here, is there are 7 elements to successful PDCA element required. The first one is commitment to continuous improvement. Next one is leadership support and resource allocation. The third one is employee involvement and empowerment. Next is access to reliable data for measurement. That is clear objective and measurable goal. Next one is employee training on PDCA. The final one is effective collaboration and communication. For implementation strategy, there are 7 main steps. As you can see here, the step 1 is pilot project. Next one is clear goals and metrics. The third one is cross-functional collaboration. The fourth one is employee training. The next one is data-driven monitoring. Next is standardized successful process. The final one is allocate equity resource in detail. The first step, we start with a small scale project to limit the resource use, such as staff, time, budget, in order to setting change before broader implementation. For the second step, we define the measurement goals tied to business outcome, use efficiency performance metrics to minimize the resource drain and ensure timely progress. The third one is engage team for different departments, which optimizing efficient personnel for input without requiring extra hiring or resource. For step 4, we invest in cost-effective, scalable training such as our online resource workshop to educate employees on PDCA principle with minimum disruption to operations. For step 5, we use the affordable data tool for real-time tracking and analyze to optimize times and cost while ensuring informed decision making. For the next step is step 6, we use document successful improvement and integrate them into existing workflows, reducing long-term resource waste. For final step, we balance time, budget, and muscle personnel for each phase, reviewing and adjusting regular to avoid excess spending for delay.
Now let's talk about recommendations and conclusions. It is about how to use the PDCA circle. Define clear objectives. First, we have scenario, starting a new project or fixing up an old one. Recommendation. Make sure your objectives in the plan phase are SMART, which is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Pilot testing prior to system or process-wide change. Suggestion: pilot programs are essential for testing new initiatives on a small scale before full deployment. They minimize risk, provide valuable data, and foster innovation. Data collection and analysis. First is about the scenario. Is in the check life cycle phase suggestions. Data should be collected systematically and analyzed with relevant statistical tools or even qualitative analysis. Assess whether the changes have led to the desired outcomes. Implementation. If this situation occurs, meaning to change to the department in multiple departments or teams. It is important to get all your key stakeholders involved in the planning and checking stage. It can give valuable insights and make the implementation effective. The last one is iterative improvement. Improve your plan and tweak it according to the results during the phase X. Record the lesson learned from successful change and then copy them, as well as eliminate or correct ineffective strategies. Keep on with the PDCA circle to keep pushing for improvements. Now is about training and communication. First is scenario. Is the scenario is introducing the PDCA circle to a new team or organization. The second is suggestion, train on the PDCA methodology and communicate goals, processes, and expectations thoroughly. This will enable us to efficiently implement the circle and get better results. The third is integration with other tools. This happens when you are working on a complex project or improvement. The last one is recommendation. Combine the PDCA circle with additional quality management methodologies and tools such as root cause analysis, which is RCA, or failure mode and effect analysis, FMER, to achieve better clarification.
So that's all for our presentation. Thank you for watching. And if you guys have any questions, please comment below. And if you guys want to learn more about BDCAs, the following are the materials that can help you.